think we're minimising lived experience to those with mental health and addiction problems, and yet I think we have to, particularly in this context where you're going to have experts in the room, allow experts to put their hand up and say, I have lived experience of some extremely challenging moments in my life, because if you haven't had those experiences, then you're not human, right? So it's about being allowed to draw on those experiences as well. One of the challenges we have in our organisation is we are the only national and in some ways international consumer-led organisation that's doing work in this space. Significant challenges behind that are that because we're interesting and that lived experience is becoming more and more important in this space, we're often asked to do a whole lot of consultative work and bringing our communities on board for new pieces to involve them in that design, but the funding doesn't follow. So you want to be able to gift that knowledge and experience because it's important, but it's not always valued financially. It is possible to translate best practice from somewhere else in a completely different context, but it needs tailoring. It needs some real work around the context of that environment and the cultures that you're dealing with. It needs significant input from the indigenous communities of that part of the world who you're developing it for. And it needs to really take into consideration things like language and diversity. I think what I've found is really important recently in the digital space, reflecting on human connection and the way digital can inform, reflect, or squash that, is how do we use the digital space to create a social movement, to create social change, to create the systems, processes and connections we want for our future. And I think there's a real opportunity there. People are nuanced and complex, and it's the interconnection of all those things that heals and shapes us as human beings. So I guess my challenge is to not create an app to fix one thing, but to find a way of connecting humans together so that together as a social movement we're able to move forward and create a better world. We can't design what that world is going to be in a single app. We've got to integrate all of the learnings we have and allow humans to interpret that themselves.